The Dolmabahçe Palace was completed in 1856 and was commissioned by Sultan Abdülmecit and was built by the Balyan brothers and covers an area of 110,000 square meters. Between 1910 and 1912, central heating and electrical systems were installed. It has 285 rooms, 46 halls, 6 bathrooms, 68 toilets within the palace. The ceremonial hall is the most superb hall within the palace. It covers an area of 2,000 square meters with 56 columns. Each one is 36 meters high, and the 4.5-ton Irish crystal chandelier hangs from the dome, one of the largest ever made. This was a gift given by Queen Victoria in 1856. Mustafa Kemal Atatürk, the founder of modern Turkey, spent his last months in this palace and died here on the 10th of November 1938 at 9:05 a.m. The Çırağan Palace was completed in 1874 as a summer residence at the time of Sultan Abdülaziz. It is now the Deluxe Kempinski Hotel. Over the hillside is located the Yıldız Chalet Kiosk, which was finished in 1880 at the time of Sultan Abdülhamit II. The Chalet Kiosk, an Austrian Alpine-style imperial residence in downtown Istanbul today, was used by the guests of the Ottoman Sultan and later the Turkish presidents. In 1889 and later in 1898, it hosted the famous German Kaiser Wilhelm II. Going through the gardens of Chalet Kiosk, we can notice from the exterior the beauty of a chalet-style kiosk here in Istanbul. Inside, we have the Yellow Hall, where porcelain heaters are used from Sweden to heat the palace. In the oval chamber of the Ottoman Sultan is where Kaiser Wilhelm II slept. You are now seeing his special bed, which later on was used by Mustafa Kemal Atatürk as well. Over the walls, you can see 2 beautiful paintings by Zonaro, the palace artist from Italy. On the floor, you can see the most beautiful hereke carpets of the 19th century. Going to the side rooms, we can see the rooms where the state guests have stayed. Iranian Shah Reza Pahlavi, Pakistani President Mirza, Tunisian President Bourguiba, Saudi Arabian King Faisal, Russian Premier Kosygin, Italian Prime Minister Aldo Moro, and the French President Charles de Gaulle are some of the dignitaries that stayed in this palace. Finally, going into the biggest salon of the Yıldız Chalet Kiosk, which measures 29 meters by 14. Looking around, we can see the whole floor space being carpeted with a one-piece hereke carpet that fits to a total square meters of 406. This is the largest hereke carpet ever produced in the world. Hereke is about 60 kilometers away from Istanbul, a small town which in the 19th century became world famous with the imperial looms where Turkish carpets were produced. Some of the finest carpets the Turks ever produced have come out of these looms. Kaiser Wilhelm II especially was a carpet lover, for he used to come to watch the girls making these carpets in hereke. During those 2 times he spent in Istanbul, he slept in the oval chamber. The biggest carpet you are looking at is with the 3 large medallions symbolizing eternal happiness. It's a carpet which is on a beige background, ivory colors and red colors have been used, and it is under the most beautiful ceiling in the whole palace, which is most highly decorative, and they had to wreck one wall of the palace in order to bring this huge carpet into the room. Otherwise, it did not quite fit through the door space. So then they had to rebuild the wall at the far end, which is 8.5 meters high, with the two capitals carrying the wall. After this lovely carpeted salon of Yıldız Chalet Kiosk, we continue our trip on the Bosphorus. Along the Bosphorus, one of the most colorful districts is called Ortaköy, meaning Midtown, where you can find a mosque, synagogue, church, all side by side within the same single neighborhood. Abdülmecit's architect Balyan finished the mosque of Ortaköy in 1867. It's in the Baroque style, and especially on Sundays, the handicrafts bazaar and the open-air cafes, where one can find baked potatoes and fast food restaurants, is one of the very popular destinations for the weekenders in Istanbul. The Rumeli Hisar fortress was built on the European side in 1452, opposite from the Anatolian fortress, in order to stop the aid coming into Constantinople, and it took them 4 months to build it. Along the Bosphorus, sometimes you can see yachts like the Savarona, which was used by Ataturk, and we have beautiful areas like Bebek, meaning the baby, the most expensive part of Istanbul. The Beylerbeyi Palace, underneath the first bridge, was built between 1861 and 65 at the time of Sultan Abdülaziz by the architect Serkis Balyan, with 26 rooms, 6 salons, 6 bathrooms. Turkish and Western architectural elements were used. Sultan's love of the sea has led them to decorate the ceiling with sea and ship paintings. The hall with the round indoor pool, spiral staircases, crystal chandeliers is part of the beauty of this palace. The highest hilltop in Istanbul is on the Asian side. It's called the Çamlıca Hill. At 268 meters above the sea level, with beautiful cypress trees, is where you have the most beautiful panoramic view of Istanbul. The Leanders Tower, on the other hand, alongside of Üsküdar, is going back to the days of the Byzantine emperors. The legend tells us that the emperor had this tower built for the daughter, and she was eventually bitten by a snake. To some people, this is related with the Leanders Tower, which in fact is not very true, because Leander crossed the Dardanelles and not the Bosphorus. This is why the tower is called the Maiden's Tower, but in fact the history tells us that by 500 BC, where today we have the Maiden's Tower, was a place where they collected taxes from all the ships passing up and down the Bosphorus, a tall collection tower. However, recently, one of the James Bond movies, The World Is Not Enough, was finalized where this tower is today.